Hello everybody and welcome. In today's video, we're going to talk about my approach to a tactic that creates beautiful football. And let's get started with an overview. This is what we're trying to achieve. A tactic that creates beautiful, unselfish football that is frankly a lot of fun to watch play out in the match engine. Beauty in football is naturally highly subjective. But there are certain things that I like to watch, and I wanted to try and create a tactic that captures that. It is an amorphous idea, so let's go over some of the things that I wanted to try and achieve. I like to watch football with incisive passing, so I want my team to focus on passing over dribbling. I also find quick passing aesthetically pleasing, so don't dwell on the ball, pass it and move it to unsettle the opponent. I also want to avoid the more selfish player roles. Because I want to focus on passing, I'll try to avoid roles that have a shoot first or dribble first mentality, like the inside forward or the winger. And finally, I want to give my players the freedom to break away from my tactical directions and do the unexpected. There was a real-world example that I had in the back of my mind while working on this tactic, and that's the Arsenal play with Jack Wilshere against Norwich about 10 years ago. If you're unfamiliar with it, I'll put a link down below. But the short of it is that Arsenal used a lot of quick, incisive passing to break down Norwich and score the goal. With that in mind, let's start building our tactic by focusing on the team instructions first. For passing, I'm going to use much shorter passing and the highest tempo. This will tell my players to focus more on the shorter pass to a teammate. It will also tell them to do it quickly. And I'll use the dribble less instruction to further influence our passing focus. On top of that, we'll work the ball into the box to try and limit any wasteful shots. In the next section, we'll choose our mentality and talk about why I selected it. For this tactic, I'm not specifically trying to keep possession. I'm trying to create beautiful football. I want to have a specific play style when we have the ball, while also giving my players freedom of creativity. I chose the attacking mentality since it'll give my team some added aggression, but also because of one key aspect of this mentality. If we look at the description, it says it'll get my players into space and allow them the creative freedom to express themselves, which is exactly what I want. So these are the team instructions I've got. You may notice I've also added in the be more expressive instruction, giving the team more of that creative freedom focus. And here's the formation I've chosen. A 4-4-1-1 with two defensive midfielders. I chose this formation because it'll give us a solid foundation, but also I chose it for another reason. We're going to bring back something that I always enjoy doing, and that's the player role quiz. Because while I can use team instructions to tell my players what to do, the player roles I select will have a huge impact on how we play. So for our player role quiz, here are 5 roles that all have a support duty. The wide midfielder, the segundo volante, the defensive midfielder, the libero, and the fullback. What do these 5 roles all have in common? It is a bit of a trick question, so here's a hint. It's something they all don't have. The answer: none of these roles have any hard-coded player instructions. You see, player instructions, whether you give them or they're hard-coded into a player role, will override team instructions. For example, the inside forward has the dribble more hard-coded player instruction. This means that when I use the dribble less team instruction, the inside forward will still dribble more because his player instruction overrides my team instruction. Let's head back to our formation and add in those player roles. We've got our 4-4-1-1, and I'm using 2 wide midfielders, a segundo volante, a defensive midfielder, a libero, and a fullback. Since they're all on the support duty and don't have any hard-coded player instructions, the roles will be more influenced by the team instructions I give them, further focusing us on this specific playstyle. The other 2 defensive roles are ones to fill out the backline. The inverted fullback will cover for the libero, and with the no-nonsense center back, I'm not focusing on keeping possession, and this role can give us just the touch of the unexpected compared with something like the central defender. For the striker, I've chosen the advanced forward, who only has one hard-coded player instruction, move into channels, so he too will be more guided by the team instructions. The final role I'm going to talk about is the attacking midfielder. If you're familiar with my tactics, you probably already know the role I'm going to choose, but I always love a playmaking number 10 role. And of course, it's the enganche, one of my favorite roles in Football Manager, and in my opinion, the best passing role in the game. The enganche will be the playmaker and is given the freedom to break away from my team instructions. If you're curious why I didn't use the attacking midfielder on support, which also doesn't have any hard-coded player instructions, it's just because I wanted to use a playmaker. It's a personal preference because I love that playmaking 10. For the club, I'm back using River Plate. I chose them because they're a very good team, of course, but I'm also already familiar with the squad, so I know that they can play this style. This is the final tactic, a 4-4-1-1 with River Plate, with our team instructions added in. With all that setup out of the way, let's head to the next section and check out a bunch of highlights. Our first play starts with my inverted fullback on the ball, attacking from left to right. The first point of note is our width and coverage of player roles. The advanced forward is up top. We've got two wide midfielders giving us width. The segundo volante and enganche are sitting in the half space. The libero, defensive midfielder, and fullback are sitting just a bit deeper. And finally, the no-nonsense center back. This grouping of roles gives us players nicely spread out all over the field. So as we watch the rest of the sequence play out, you'll see us focused on our passing style and how we use the entire field. The overarching idea with this tactic is unselfishness. I want my players to pass up a good shot for a great shot. I don't care who scores the goal, only that it goes in the net. You'll see some of that here in this play, where we're about to win back possession from the opponent when they have the ball in their own half. Much shorter passing and the highest tempo is a very difficult set of instructions to use for your team. It demands a lot from your players. The trade-off is that it puts a lot of pressure on the opponent when they're defending you. Here's our throw-in deep in the opponent's half. Since we don't have any roles that like to cross the ball or dribble more, it means that we can still work the ball into the box when the ball goes near the corner. In this one, we've got a throw in around midfield, attacking from left to right. Here's us on the ball right outside the opponent's penalty box. This passing style is especially good when playing a team that likes to press you. Because you move the ball so quick, they don't have time to close you down. If you're new to the shorter passing style of play in that team instruction, this will be a good example. It starts with the opponent attacking down the right flank, about to hit in a cross. As we get possession and move the ball up the field, there's no wasted passes. Shorter passing doesn't mean passive, it just means we'll look to pass it to a nearby teammate first. We're using the entire field, moving it from side to side, and the shot only comes when we're right in front of the net. Here's our last example. We're on the ball right around midfield. The theme with our passing is that we're using the entire width of the field. It's about moving the ball to find the open teammate and getting us a high quality chance. This type of unselfish play is what I consider to be beautiful football. I alluded to it earlier, but this style of play is not necessarily plug and play. I believe that any team could adopt this style, but it's going to take time. And that's because this play style is tightly interwoven with one of the most underrated aspects of Football Manager: team cohesion. Under the squad dynamics screen, our cohesion at River Plate is considered good. And this cohesion gives us some benefits. Namely, our players will experience a slight improvement to their vision and reactions. Oftentimes, when you start a save, your team cohesion will not be good. Namely, players will experience issues with their vision and reactions. So you see how team cohesion is the heartbeat on how to play this beautiful style. And it's not to say that you can't create this tactic right away and have success, because you absolutely can. I'm just saying that it may take a season or two for your team to become totally comfortable with their teammates and unlock their full potential. As we wrap up, hopefully this video shows you how team instructions, player roles, and your tactical approach all work together to create the style you're trying to achieve. If you're curious about any player roles that I've used in today's video, I've got different playlists that you can check out. I've also got a Patreon account if you'd like to support the channel. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.